Nigerians outraged as IGP disband state offices of police tactical units, IRT and STS, plus Lagos government outlines action plan as residents groan over perennial flooding. Later on the program, bandits kidnap customs officials. Some Nigerian citizens at Ilela border town demand 100 million naira ransom. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Adekunle Yusuf. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Thank you for joining us. The Ogun State Governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, has vowed not to bow to pressure to reopen churches and other places of worship as religious groups and stakeholders continue to mount pressure on him. The state had earlier fixed the 19th of June for reopening of worship centers and had to set up a tripartite committee to work out the guidelines for the reopening. As at Monday, July 13th, health authorities in Ogun State were managing 326 active cases, having recorded more than 1,000 confirmed cases with 22 deaths till date. Julie, yesterday, we give the summary of the entire people. We've not tested up to 200,000 Nigerians. We are just in the threshold of 188,000 Nigerians that have been tested of coronavirus. A country of close to 200 million people. And we don't have 200,000 people have not been tested. So I think the best thing is to declare a kind of emergency on this test. Now, moving further now, there are some religious leaders are divided over the continued lockdown that is affecting churches, saying that look, while people are allowed to go to marketplaces, they are allowed to go to work and spend 7-8 hours at work, and they have even the best internal mechanism to stop the coronavirus by keeping to the protocols. Some of them are saying they can keep to this protocol while locking down the churches indefinitely. That is affecting businesses, is affecting spiritual lives of people, and some Christians are complaining.
Well, I don't know how it's affecting businesses, except if you are telling me that churches
they pay overhead, Ojide. They pay salaries. I know of a church.
Well, you
that
said
they have
affecting business. So you have now categorized churches.
They have over 180,000
as business
workers,
entities,
or 18,000 workers across the country. And
but there are other means by which they can still get money. They are saying people should pay online. I see every time Abadeboye preaches, at the end of his preaching, they will scroll the places, where people can pay online, I know that. So
the one I even
you can pay your tithe electronically.
The one I saw online was even if you have a dollar accounts, if you have a Naira account, you have dollar accounts, you have pound sterling. So
they are organized. The money can still come in. Money is about our survival. People don't see it as such. When a state like Kwara suddenly leads, one of the days last week, Kwara was on top.
For what?
Accounting for almost 200 cases. Accounting for almost 200 cases. This was a state where at some point it felt that they were completely free.
Yes.
Now
they had to lock it down.
Now, despite the deniers and all that, the governor had to come out to say, we have lost our chief of staff to COVID-19. Some of our friends on social media who do not even want to believe that, that COVID-19 exists, who abuse me for preaching sanitation and all that, for campaigning that Nigerians should take the thing seriously. The moment it was announced, they said, oh, Jide has come again. Anybody who dies now, it is COVID-19. But it's the governor of Kwara State announcing that he lost his chief of staff.
So that means
nobody is safe. The man, they were treating him somewhere. And then when they observed that he was suffering breathlessness, they had to rush him to the isolation center. So that people are dying. Many of those cases don't get reported. So the dilemma for us is, look, we want to worship God. I like going to church. I'm a songwriter. I'm the lead songwriter in my church.
Wow.
And I like to groom the choir, prepare the choir for ministration. It's a wonderful experience for me. That's my own ministry. But I can't do it at this time. But I'm not going to stand on the rooftops and be swearing at people that, oh, I'm unable to groom the choir. I'm unable to do what gives me joy. I'm unable to prepare the choir for ministration. I know that it's just for a time. It's just for a time. I won't be swearing at people because the churches have been shut. Mosque too, shut. And I like the argument of the Ogun State governor that, look, stop comparing churches to markets. The markets are open spaces. The capacity to transmit is greater in an environment that is not open. Why is it that a lot of the transmission initially happened inside airplanes? It's because of its airtight nature.
Airtight, yes. So most churches now.
Ordinarily, the disease cannot by itself walk on two legs and go around the world. It came through people going to China, tourists and other people. People went to watch Champions League games, you know, inside the airplane. They infected one another and came back to their country. That is why across the world, everybody said air travel, stop for now. I mean, we just have to be commonsensical about this thing. We should not bring emotions into it. Because at the end of the day, those who do not deserve to die will die. Honestly. For no fault of theirs.
We've lost close.
The problem with us as Nigerians is, oh, when they promise, or churches are promising, we will do this, we will do this, we will do this.
Stick
but
to the
you know
protocols.
that in that kind of environment is extremely difficult. Will you turn back someone at the gate of a church because he's not wearing his mask? They are saying, okay, we want people to wear mask in the course of the service. How do you sing well when you are wearing mask? Is it possible?
How do you praise your God?
Yes. You want to sing on the high pitch. Maybe you're a soprano singer. How do you do it with your mouth being covered by the mask? People have to let this thing go down. When it goes down, like it has gone down in New Zealand, like it went down in Germany, where they battled it, like it went down in Taiwan, and Taiwan is seen as a worthy example to the rest of the world. Why don't we want to address this problem? And then when the environment is better, we can gradually begin. The problem, the fear that these governors have, Sanwo-Olu in Lagos and the man in Ogun
State,
is that the biggest churches in Nigeria,
yes,
they are here.
Yes.
No matter how big that church is in Abuja,
okay.
Abuja,
okay,
you can't compare it to the camp at Ota, at Redemption Camp. The people who worship at Redemption Camp.
Yeah, the numerical strength.
You can't. It's just, okay, so an auditorium is big, this and that. The people who go to the camp are greater in number than the people who go to that church, because I've worshipped in that church. The Dunamis, I've worshipped there before. So I know what I'm talking about. So it's about just, and the two states are too close to one another. It's like, he described Ogun as New Jersey of Nigeria. Like, it's just like New Jersey. I've not been to America. It's you people who go there when you have your money. You have money. So he described this as New Jersey.
I'm laughing now. Some of your viewers will say, why am I laughing?
Don't mind. When they don't see something to complain about, they'll say we are laughing. If we frown face, they'll say it's too serious. You know? But we need to solve this problem, and we have to be patient to save the lives of our people. That's the way I see it. No emotions.
Moji Jamiu will be replacing Adekunle Yusuf. We're having difficulty in connecting Adekunle Yusuf. MJ, Lagos State, Ogun State, is saying it's not going to bow to pressure to just reopen churches.
Yeah, good afternoon, AY and BKO. In as much as we want to be prayerful or want to be religious in Nigeria, common sense, I think we should allow common sense and logic to prevail, because in the state of California, for example, where homes and other places, they have had to shut down those places immediately now because 3 days ago in the US, 70,000 cases were recorded in 1 day. Although they've been able to manage, the rate of deaths. Yeah, the rate of deaths have declined, but the rate of new cases are on the rise. In Texas is having serious battle. Florida is having serious battle. So, I mean, it's for
left New York.
Religious leaders.
They opened
Yeah,
too early.
yeah, it has left New York. Because New York, the Cuomo, the governor of New York, was very, very firm. Just like we have Sanwo-Olu and Dapo Abiodun in Ekiti, and I mean in Ogun, as well as Kayode Fayemi in Ekiti. They are saying religious houses, Muslims, Christians, I mean churches and mosques have to remain closed for now. And that is the reasonable thing to do. And I think our religious leaders should see reason and know that this is not. I mean, nobody wants to be too far away from God. And we have been praying over the years. Saudi Arabia has cancelled Hajj. It has never happened since, I mean, more than 200 years, since pilgrimages. They have only limited it to just 10,000 people from inside Saudi Arabia. And to think that every year you have minimum of 2 million people visiting Saudi Arabia for the holy pilgrimage.
Yes, I know.
It has been cancelled this year. So can we be more holier than the Pope or where these religions came from? These religions start from Nigeria. They emanate from here, both Christianity and Islam. So they are borrowed religions. So why must we now let everything loose? But I think I give kudos to the governor of Ogun State and by extension the governor of Lagos for being firm that no religious worship centers remain closed. Just like Jide said earlier, you need to see at times they have about 2 or 4 sessions of minimum of 10,000, 20,000 worshippers. I mean, we are talking of a closed environment here, not a marketplace. I mean, I see why I don't see why people compare apples and oranges. They are 2 different things.
They don't taste the same way.
They don't taste the same. They don't taste the same. But Jide, you didn't pick my call yesterday night after that 2-2 draw. After the equalizer, I was not watching the match.
So we should go into that now.
We should
just start that now.
We should go into that now. Okay.
We are hanging out, and I think we should tell ourselves the truth. So, no, honestly, seriously speaking,
what we are saying invariably is that these people, the religious organizations and I think government will need to dialogue with them more and show them reason. Because when Chris Okotie spoke last week and Chris Oyakilome 2 weeks ago, and it has been like Christianity is under attack.
It's a lie. Christianity is not under attack. The building is not the church. We are the church. We are the church. Christianity is not under any attack. Your own church is your mind. That's what Thomas Paine said. So Christianity is not under any form of attack. And Christianity will come back even stronger. Anyone who is able to survive this year, because since I was born, I've never seen a year
like this
where people, prominent people, VIPs died like this year. So as an individual, if you survive this year, you will be more grateful to God. You will be closer to God.
But you don't know the value. Be careful.
You know
this
the
protocol
value.
we are talking about, you can't finish observing
They told us, have you seen some pictures of some Nigerians inside an airplane? Inside one of the domestic airplanes?
Yes.
It's like it being inside the Molwe.
And it's airtight.
It's like it's no physical distancing of any sort. So when they tell you that, we are going to do it, we are going to ensure it, let it start first.
And the United Nations...
How many Nigerians are wearing masks?
The World Health Organization has even established it that, look, this thing could be airborne.
Yes.
Now that's the
Yes.
droplets.
Many scientists have said that
this thing-
WHO was wrong from the beginning.
To say
That,
this
look,
thing-
this thing is airborne. We are seeing it. The way it's spreading, there's no way that it won't be airborne. The way it's spreading. Somebody breathes into your nose now, you contract it. He's close to you, he's talking to you, he's breathing, it goes into your own nose. You contract it.
Can't be too careful.
Yes. So if you survive this year, you will
Grace of
know
God.
the value of God a lot more. So Christianity is not under any threat. That's just an opinion. And I disagree with it. I disagree.
Mojid, ultimately, what should we be looking at so that we can't lock the churches and the religious houses in perpetuity?
You see, if it means locking the religious houses, mosques, churches, other places of worship for 1 year, for us to be sure that we are safe, I think so be it. We can pray in the corners of our rooms. You can talk to God. You can meditate. I mean, we all have our Bibles. We all have our Qurans. Fine, it's good. Congregational prayers are better, but these are, I mean, serious times. These are not normal times. We can see the way football matches are being played. I mean,
And
without
those clubs are losing money.
spectators.
Losing money.
Losing big
That's
money.
Clubs are losing money, but life must go on.
Yeah.
Even the aircrafts, despite the fact that we are seeing some of the crowded airplanes, they are not carrying passengers at full capacity. They are doing probably maximum of 60-70% of their carrying capacity. But life must go on. A lot of businesses have shut down. It's an annus horribilis. It's a very horrible year. The year might just have ended. So it's something nobody has ever envisaged. I mean, a lot of countries are going to go into recession. A lot of a lot of jobs will still be lost. So it's a very, very serious matter. I think what our
Thank you,
religious
Mojid.
leaders
I have to move on.
should be doing is to pray for us.
Yeah. Moving on now. Security matters. Some Nigerians are kicking against the disbanding of all satellite offices and bases of the Intelligence Response Squad, that is IRT, and Special Tactical Squad, STS, of the police. The IGP had directed that disbanding the formations followed moves by the force headquarters to reposition the police and ensure accountability and due process. Before now, this unit has become so famous, and the successes they've recorded across the country. Any major kidnapping, any major robbery, any major killings, you just see the IRT, this squad going after them, and in a couple of days, months, they will fetch that person out. It has been very, very effective.
Yes.
What's wrong? Why do you think the IGP is taking this move?
I don't know what the IGP is thinking about. I don't know what's going through his mind. I don't know what's going through his head. But I know that it makes no sense to change a winning team. I know that if there is any group that has brought honor to the police, that makes many of us Nigerians to still retain some hope in the police, it is the IRT team led by Abba Kyari. And of course, we have Kolo, who also leads the STS team. The two of them are the stars of the Nigerian police, whether anybody likes it or not. They are the stars. The IG must be conscious of his place in history. I don't know whether he's a historian or I don't know. He has, whether he's a historian or not, he has to be conscious of his place in history. Because the IRT does not always go to places where it is needed. It has its units in each of the states. All that Abba Kyari will need to do is to simply activate his foot soldiers in those states.
Yep.
And any petition that has been sent to them, they work on it arrests are made in good time.
No
We've
matter
seen
how
that.
remote.
We've seen that happen in Nasarawa. We've
bust
seen
them.
that happen in Kano.
They will surely get them.
Wadume,
When he escaped.
where he thought that by putting his phone aside, that they will not be able to catch
He went
him.
to Kano.
Eh?
He left Taraba.
Yes,
He escaped to Kano.
They got him. There was another guy too that they were chasing.
So some people,
that one
think if you change
that
your
one
SIM,
blocked. When he saw that they were trailing him, he blocked the policemen. He blocked them, but they still got him because this is technology, and they have shown a mastery. Those two individuals are among the most trained police officers in the country. They've been trained abroad.
Look at
to put them under
our famous this person at Magodo here.
Yeah.
That's kidnapper.
Yes,
For
Evans,
months.
Evans. It was Evans,
monitored.
The arrest of Evans made me to respect Abba Kyari more because Abba Kyari, despite his work at Federal SARS here, the arrest of Godo, remember Godo?
Yes,
Godo
he
now?
has also served in
6 different police commissioners declared him wanted. They couldn't catch him until Abba Kyari moved in. This is a Nigerian hero. I'm not surprised. I've never met him. I'm not sure that maybe because of his pictures I can recognize. We have never met. Abba Kyari was honored by the House of Reps. The day I saw that in Ayo, I don't know if we were talking in the night, and I tell you, I said, this thing will bring serious problem for this guy. It will bring envy because this is the way we are. This is the way we are. The IG has clearly been misled on this matter.
Is it only you?
Yes, they say, oh, look at him.
There
was a picture that I saw of Magu sitting beside the president. I looked at that and I said, this is not too good. Ideally, what Magu should have done to salute the president and tell his boss to come and sit beside him. Because people say these guys, they are growing wings. They are becoming too influential.
The IGP was in that. It was at the event.
At the event. So these are little things to many people, but to some people, they mean they are big. In my view, with armed robbery, with kidnapping, so rampant in our country, and Nigerians determined to see an end to these things, the best that the IG can do is to give teeth to those 2 stars.
Honestly.
They are loyal to you. What is it again? They are loyal to you. They do the job. They make you proud. You now want to bring them under Ibrahim Lamrode. Yes, in charge of FIB now. That's what he wants to do. We experiment in our country. At the end of the day, when we experiment, we kill dreams. We kill dreams.
Cut his wing.
Yes,
his wings.
He was reporting directly to the IG before. They were reporting directly to the IG
now.
before.
You now bring it.
I sense that some commissioners of police, selfish commissioners of police, are the ones who will say, oh, these guys, they are in control of our boys. They are the ones using our boys. They want to have control of their own people. Now the IG is saying, okay, all of you in this unit, come down to Abuja on Thursday. What for now?
Okay.
What for?
Let me quickly take this breather. When we come back, we'll talk more. It's still Journalist Hangout. This is Journalist Hangout, and it's very hot in the studio here. I'm Mojid. Jide has set the ball rolling on this formation. We know that, yes, the Inspector General of Police has the power and he has everything that he can reform and reposition the police force at any given time. But this particular IRT squad and the special tactical squad is so strategic, and we've been seeing results over the years.
Honestly, I don't know what our problem is in Nigeria. There has been several clamors for the special anti-robbery squad to either be disbanded or reformed, but not much has happened. But we have a winning team in the IRT and the STS led by Abba Kyari and Yusuf Kolo. They are doing wonders, like you guys mentioned earlier. I recall the case of Evans, the kidnapper in our Magodo neighborhood here. I mean, the way Abba Kyari, when he narrated how he arrested that character, he had to disguise as one of the PPP, the PSP, those carrying waste disposal. Yeah, those carrying refuse. He had to disguise as one of the workers, cladded in that their rustic, dirty overall. And lo and behold, that's the way. I mean, for about a week, he was on the tail of Evans, gathering, collecting the waste from that neighborhood before it was eventually. I mean, that is just a case. Look at the case of Wadume too. I wonder. I think Jide has said it all. We don't have to take. We don't have to allow personal interest to override national interest. Magu might have his own issues, but I believe that he has stepped on some powerful toes. I mean, we can't have 100% perfect human beings. But if we have an agency that is doing fine, the IRT and the STS, as well as the EFCC, these are organs that are doing well. But for the IG to disband them and put them under Lamode, it has its reasons, but I just hope that we won't have an increase in the rates of those unresolved critical cases going forward, because these are gentlemen that has been trained specially and is also training others under him, and they are getting used to the system. So I expect that the case of Wadume will have been brought to the fore now than disband a team that successfully nabbed the likes of Wadume and other kidnappers and other critical cases of armed robbery, kidnapping, and even internet fraud.
Okay, Mojit, hold on. There's a way they operate. The technology is like, the closer I've gotten to that technology was our friend Olatunji Disu in Lagos State. No matter what you want to do with your phone, if you like, throw it away. If you like, buy another SIM, put it inside, they will track you down. So that technology is so efficient that the level of efficiency of Nigerian police and the result they've been getting through this IRT team, it has been magnificent. And a lot of Nigerians, they want just that results.
Sometimes a junior officer becomes much more effective when he reports directly to the boss.
Yeah.
There is no bureaucracy.
Yeah.
He knows that he reports to the boss.
Yeah.
And even the escort of the police, they call them the Inspector General of Police escort, those who go around arresting policemen who take money on the highways and all that, they are from the office of the IG. There is a way it sets them apart. Even other categories of policemen know that, look, we can't mess with these ones. And you see this, the success, the level of success recorded.
Removed from the bureaucracy.
Yes,
so
the level of success recorded validates the need for them to report to the big man. This is what I expect to see. Ordinarily, I would have expected the IG to say, okay, at state level, going for what we want to do, this technology will replicate it across the states. And I've suggested before that even some of our rich men can be approached to make this technology available to help procure, because we know that we don't fund the police efficiently, yet we want them to do wonders. At the state level, let the technology be available so that you want to catch someone. There's a particular boy that used another person's name, account number to receive money paid by kidnappers. You then, and it happened in a different state, you have to then write to IRT in Abuja. So they will now take over the matter and use the technology at their disposal to catch the person. That is what happened. I'm saying that we need to replicate it across the states.
Yes.
Yes. Not to say, okay, all of you close the bases, close the offices in the states, and everybody should come down to Abuja. Because that's what the signal from the IG is saying. He's telling the two gentlemen, make sure that those bases are closed across the states. Make sure that those stations are closed, and then everybody, they should come to Abuja on
Under
Thursday.
Lamude.
Why are all these things happening? Is it that we abhor progress in our country? We don't like progress. Something is giving the police an excellent name.
Honestly.
We are trying to tinker
like the
with
elite
it.
squad.
We tinker with it until it will be clear to people that it has been a failure. This is what I see. Leave those guys alone. What is it that they want to bring them under Lamode for what? For what? When they've recorded huge success the way they used to be. So across the states now, if you close down those offices, how do we catch those kidnappers who are operating in the states? Because it is it is the people in the state that the IRT headquarters in Abuja will use to track those people. So I really don't understand what the IG wants to achieve on this. And you have a situation in which there is so much crime in the country, you have not fixed it. You and your colleagues in the army, you have not been able to fix the crisis. Every day kidnappers are killing our people. Nigerians have run away to Niger Republic to hide. You have not been able to solve the problem, you and Burate and the rest of you. And the success that we can see, verifiable, you are trying to tamper with it. What are you looking for? What is there? What is your goal?
I think, Mojid, we might have to ask the Inspector General of Police what is responsible for this move.
Well, it needs to tell Nigerians why he's taking the decision. But at the end of the day, what the answer we might get is, well, it's a tactical reform. I mean, they have sent the signal.
You're talking about efficiency.
Strategic.
I don't know how this could be efficiency. Recall that Abba Kyari was actually responsible for the arrest of those who killed Air Commodore Alex Bade along
Kefi Road.
Kefi Kaduna Road.
List.
Also, one of the most wanted Boko Haram commanders, Umar Abdul Malik, was also responsible for his arrest, as well as 22 members of the Boko Haram team that kidnapped the Chibok Mengas. We can go on and on and on. I mean, why, rather than promote these deputy commissioners of police as a measure of reward, promote them to become commissioners of police as a measure of rewarding and appreciating what they are doing, so that they can even more. Yes. So now this could be demoralizing, because I know that some people would have been telling them that we are soon going to clip their wings. That has always been the case. That's why the private sector is always better than the public sector. If these guys were supposed to have been in the private sector, you will see the way they'll be rising. I mean, look at the guys working with Dangote, for example. They are constantly being promoted. I mean, MTN, all those other companies. But in the public service, the moment they see that you are very intelligent, they want to bury you. I mean, so to say, quote and unquote. And I don't think we should continue to allow that to happen. We have fantastic officers in our security agencies. I mean, look at the kind of demoralizing treatment they are giving to Magu. I mean, it's still under arrest since for more than 8 days now. I mean, for quote and unquote stepping on toes. You see, it goes a lot to tell the kind of country we want to build. We should try as much as possible and be building institutions rather than destroying individuals.
Okay, so Babajide, what we're looking at here is that the efficiency of the police, the level of efficiency, the way they've been busting their crimes and everything, and if as the saying goes, if it's not broken, it should not just attempt to fix it.
Yes.
So
if it ain't broken, don't fix it.
Don't fix it. And we know that we are going to reach out to the police authority, and definitely
tomorrow.
Yeah, we are going to reach out to them. Definitely, we'll get the part of the Inspector General of Police, and we even get our friend Frank.
We'll bring Frank about
yes, the first
PRO.
Really yes. So we need to explain to Nigerians that Super Cup especially Abakari, this kind of move
Both of
will
them.
go a long way to
Olo is
discourage
even
them.
more experienced than Abakari. He's even more experienced as an intelligence officer. Both of them. So if we allow this kind of thing to happen and we made them subordinate to someone else,
Because
they will
Lamude
no
has not
longer.
had this very bright this of crime busting now.
Yeah,
I don't,
yeah.
DIG Lamude, I know him for, he was in EFCC. From EFCC, he was moved to special fraud units in Lagos, SFU. He was at a point in time in special fraud
Whatever
units.
even is his brilliance, we are saying that these ones,
They
their
are
track
standing.
record is there for us
should
to see.
report
And
directly.
the police should honor its talents. The police should honor its heroes. And if there's a winning team, keep the winning team the way it is. That is what we are suggesting. But of course, Frank Kumba will be on the
show tomorrow. Yes,
so
we'll
we'll be
talk to
able to
us.
hear from him. This is a matter that will stay on.
All right. On a final note now, in Lagos State, the government has outlined action plans to combat the ravaging floods as residents continue to groan under perennial flooding. Many parts of the state have come under serious flooding due to poor and blocked drains and bad roads. The government has now warned residents against indiscriminate dumping of refuse in the drains while the government moves to clear the water channel. So joining us is the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Information. But let me just show you these clips first and you will see, we will now go into our discussion for the day. Ministry of Environment in Lagos State, and the situation is actually very, very serious in Lagos State. I have the Permanent Secretary of Lagos State Ministry of Environment, Mr. Lekon Shodende, joining us. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
All right, sir. Now that we are facing flooding around Lagos, what is the Lagos State government doing to actually help Lagosians?
I can't hear him again.
Mr. Shodende, we are talking about now the rains are here and we are faced with flooding all around Lagos. So what is the Lagos State government doing to actually try to stem this tide?
Thank you very much. Well, before the rain started, the Lagos State, there's a delay. There's a time delay.
Keep talking, sir. Don't.
Keep talking, sir.
Lagos State government. Okay, thank you. The Lagos State government embarked on maintenance of several of the primary channels and the secondary collectors in preparation for the advent of the rain and the runoff. In addition to that, several new projects, are also being constructed all over the state. So we've been preparing before the rain. Even with the rain starting, when the rain, started, even before the rain started, the NIMET gave us a rainfall prediction that the commissioner had a press conference to tell the entire state what to expect, and areas that will be prone to flooding and the necessary steps required for people to take. Government is doing its best, and we are really still working at ensuring that Lagos is able to manage the flooding situation as it were.
Now, when you look at some of the drains, especially on Lagos Island, some of the drains don't appear to be big enough to collect the volume of water that we experience when it rains. Is there any plan to expand these drains so that they can collect more water rather than the water spilling on our roads?
Thank you very much. Drains are, there is a design before any construction in engineering. So just assuming that sizes of drains need to be expanded is offhand and off the cuff. The drains were designed and rightly sized. If we're having flooding, it's not necessarily the size of the drain, but you need to look at the hydraulics of what is happening. That is what we need to educate ourselves about. When rain falls, some volume of a huge part of that volume ought to percolate into the ground. The soil is supposed to soak up almost 50% of that rainfall event. That is the natural dynamics that God created. Another 45% ought to be stored in the leaves of the plants, the greens, the grasses, the trees, and the flowers. Only 10% or 5% ought to generate runoff that ends up in the drain. But what we see nowadays is that a lot of us have sealed up all the ground. The shallow and deep percolation has been completely cancelled. We are having that added to the runoff. The greens are being cut. So the storage in the leaves are no more existing. So we are having near 100% runoff. I say it without humility. No infrastructure can carry that volume. Because when you look at the intensity of the rainfall and the duration and the 100% runoff, that is why you're having flash flooding. I said it the other day that you can't avoid flooding because of what we are doing. If we had left the natural balance to exist, flash flooding wouldn't be existing because the natural percolation will exist, the leaves will store their own. But since we've taken all this out of the equation, we are now handling near 100% runoff. There is no size of infrastructure you want to provide that can carry everything instantaneously. What we're now having is that the channels are performing very well. The channels are a conveyor system. They carry water to flow through. So if you are now having 100% runoff into the channels, we should expect some back off because the channels are not designed for that intensity.
Okay.
So, but I can assure you in Lagos State now, within 1, 2, 3 hours, max 4, everywhere will be free because the channels are clean, they are free. But due to the intensity, the high intensity and the duration, we're having these temporary flooding due to the backup of the runoff.
Well, let's talk about the drain ducts. The drain dogs are, they have the responsibility of desilting the drains. How are you reinvigorating the drain dogs so that they can play their part in helping to check flooding?
I need to correct that title, sir. The drain dock is a private establishment, but what we run here is the EFAG, Emergency Flood Abatement Gang. So, but I'll talk. Drain dock is private. Government engages them to do some areas, but under my own office, the Office of Drain Services and Water Resources, the team I have on ground is the Emergency Flood Abatement Gang. And as the name connotes, this is a gang that we have set up to interface, in areas that we see as black spots. We have three classes of drainages. We have the tertiary drain, which is the one you have in front of your tenements, along the roads, crisscrossing the state. You have the secondary collectors. These are bigger in size, 1 meter by 1 meter, 1.5 to 3, depending on the expected volume of inflow from the tertiary drain. Water flows from tertiary drain into the secondary collectors, while the secondary collectors flow into the primary channels that are, almost natural channels that were created in the wetland due to development. So we have these three classes. The law requires that every tenement cleans the tertiary drain. That's what the Environmental Law 2017 says. Even before that, as revised down the line. So every individual, me, you, everybody that lives in Lagos ought to maintain the drain in front of our houses. While the state government has taken up the responsibility of cleaning the secondary collectors and the primary canals. The bigger water, channels is our own responsibility, which we're doing. But we realize that a lot of the tenements are not performing. And if the entire conveyor system is not kept clean, we're going to be having flooding on the road. Water that's supposed to enter the tertiary drain will flow on the road into our own secondary collectors. So we are dealing with the secondary collector and the primary channels. We now created EFAG to intervene in tertiary drains that are critical. Areas where we see flooding happening, this team of drainage attendants will be deployed there to go and clean those tertiary drains.
The Commissioner the Commissioner for Environment, Mr. Tunji Bello, was quoted as saying that some local governments in Lagos are going to be badly affected with this flood, and he was asking them to quit those areas. I want you to highlight those local governments right now.
Especially in the event of the closure of the Ogun Dam, or the release of water from the Ogun Dam.
Now, the river Ogun is a natural river. Ogun Dam will be releasing will be opening their. In fact, they've been opening their gates, releasing water gradually. We are interfacing with the Ogun Dam to see how we can better manage the volume of release from the dam to make it not to peak in September, October. If we can get more flows earlier in the year, like July, August, to balance out the volume of release from the dam, rather than having it coming peak in October, we're trying to engage in the Ogun River Basin Development Authority on doing that. But areas along the river, generally speaking, Kosofe local government, Agboyike 2 areas, Lagos mainland,
Majido,
parts of Surulere, Etiosa, Victoria Island, Ikorodu. Lagos is largely low-lying. If you are within a floodplain, because we know where we develop our houses, the floodplains are supposed to be a natural basin for holding water, either seasonally or permanently. But we have incurred into these areas because we need to live, we need habitation. So if you are in this area, these are the areas that are prone to flooding. River Ogun will flood any area that is abutting the banks of River Ogun, because these are its natural floodplains. So these are the kind of areas that needs to be careful and mindful all through the year. But we're trying to see how we can engage the River Basin Authority to
it's something
even
that
out
we can't exhaust today. But Parent Secretary, we want to thank you. We can't exhaust it today, but we promise we are going to stay on it because it's a perennial thing in Lagos State, and we are going to, do a follow-up on certainly on this. And kudos to Mr. Tunji Bello, the Commissioner for Environment in Lagos State, has been doing a good job in Lagos State Ministry of Environment.
And that was really reaching from the PAMSEC Ministry of the Environment.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll have him again.
Okay. Okay. I want to thank you. Mojid Jamil is somewhere in Magodo. Mojid, Richmond area.
Poor Arsenal supporter. No Europa for you this season.
Okay.
I'm making fun of me, Abi. Okay.
Dikio, thank you for always being there.
Thanks.
And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program, and also what Journalist Hangout showing on our platform, showing on the screen. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Our feedback channel is Journalist Hangout at tvcnews.tv. I'm Ayodele Uzuwakun. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.